Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel KBS Technocraft. Before we dive into today's video, I just wanted to take a moment to invite you to join my channel KBS Technocraft. If you like what you see, please consider hitting the subscribe button. Also, I would recommend to refer the part 1 of this series to understand the basic of BDD and environment setup. Today, we are going to learn creating a feature file for a real-time application, writing step definition file, integrating Selenium driver for those step definition, running the test, and generating the test report using Living Doc. Before we proceed on the technical, we will try to understand what exactly the application is and what we are going to write. So the application, as you can see, this application is the test application which is hosted on the public domain. You can access it for testing purpose. Okay, so this application is e-commerce application where a user can log in. Let's say consider a user is a standard user. When I pass this user ID here, and this is the password which is available, you can use for your testing purpose. So I will press here and log in. So once the user logged in, what he can see that he can see the product detail. A user can add to cart and then he can check out. So it's a very simple application. It's just for testing purpose, which is created on public domain, and we will use this application for testing purpose. Okay, so let me check out, and then we will start writing the feature file first. So the step is first we write the feature file, and then we will write the step definition. Then we'll try to integrate with the Selenium driver, run the test case, and generate the report. To write the feature files, we are going to create a project in the Visual Studio 2022. So I just open the Visual Studio 2022 and then I click on the file, new project, and then I will select SpecFlow project. If you are not able to see this SpecFlow project in the recent template, you have to search it here, SpecFlow. Okay, once you search it, you will be able to get it. You have to select this template and click on next. So I have selected this template and click on next. And then I will give, since eCart application, just I am giving eCart dot acceptance test as a project. And then I click on create. Then you can select the .NET framework. I have selected .NET 6.0 and then test framework. So test framework on my machine is install XUnit and MS test. I have used NUnit, so you can use any of this. Okay, and then this is optional if you want to use fluent assertion, which is used for checking the assert or using for different kind of assert. So this is optional. I click on create and then it will create a project with all the dependencies whatever is required for this SpecFlow project. So it's still loading. After this we will be able to see that there is a sample project has been created and there will be one sample feature file, that is calculator dot feature file will be automatically created because that is part of template. So you can see here in the feature file, if you go, you will be able to see that calculator feature file is created. So first we'll try to see our environment setup is fine, is everything is working, and then we'll proceed with the writing the feature file. So first step we will build it, make sure that build is happen. So if you can see here, the build successful happen. Now what we can do is we can see this feature file. If you have seen my previous video where I have explained the basic, I have address all this, but I'm just trying to explain once again here. So you have that simple feature file which contains a simple test cases. So what I will go to the step definition, go to definition, and I will add this code or just say template generated. So we will try to implement these test cases to just check that our environment setup is done. So I will put int and then I will put first number equal to 0 and then second number equal to 0, then third number is nothing but result, that is actual result. Okay, so I just declare this value because I want to store those value into this. So I will put here first number equal to number, and then I will write here second number equal to number. Then I will write here this is added, so this is actual result equal to number first number plus second number, and then we will put here assert. So we will put assert or equal, and this is expected as per the test cases, so it will be a result actually. So this is what I have implemented now. I will explain it in few moments. Just okay. Now we will go on the test explorer and we'll see. We'll try to run these test cases. Okay, so you can see there is this test is available here. Add two number. I will just try to run it. Okay, great. The test is getting passed. So what we have done it, whatever you pass, the given is 50. That is first number, and then second number. The two numbers added, and then we are testing that result is as per this expected result. So they have mentioned that the expected result should be 120. So when we do this, we have added these two number. I just check that. This is very simple test case which we are trying to do that just to check that environment setup is done or not. So we are able to see that this test case is runs and is passed. So if you want to check that this test case is working fine or not, you can put just 121 here just to test it. And if I run this test case, it will fail now because 50 plus 70 is 120, but expected is, so if you see expected and actual was like this. Okay. So before we dive into more detail about how we have written this feature file and how we have created the step definition, I would like to explain that what are the tools are required to generate the XPath, because XPath is very important to understand. So I'm not going in more detail about how to generate the XPath and what is XPath, how many types of XPaths we can create it, but I'm just going to explain what tool I have used it so that you can also understand and use that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to open the Chrome browser and I'm going to type Selector Hub. Selector Hub is a tool which is required to install as an extension for Chrome. And once you install it, it's very easy to generate the XPath. So what is XPath? XPath is basically a unique identifier for a particular element on which you are going to fire a action or you are doing some verification. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to write Selector Hub. So this is Selector Hub website. You can go and you can download and install it. This also you can go into the Google Chrome extension, add this extension by searching this extension name as a Selector Hub, and you will be able to do that. On my system, I have already installed this Selector Hub. So I'm not going to install it, but I'm going to show you that how we can use it. So I'm going to open a new tab here, and I'm going to open that our test application which we are testing it. Okay, so let's say consider this is a login page and you want to uh, know the XPath for username and password. So once you install it, if you go more tool and then if you click on developer tool, you will be able to say this second tab, and here you will be able to Selector Hub. So I click on Selector Hub here, and then what you have to do, select that particular text box or element. So if I select it, you can see here this is generated the XPath which you can use it in our code. So I will take a simple scenario for login, and I will show how I have used it so that you can understand and do that. Now if you want to know how we can install this extension, this is the extension page. But if you want to install it, go in extension, manage extension, and then here you can select, you can find out Selector Hub. So here you can find Selector Hub. So once you search it, you will be able to get that extension and you can install it from here extension as well. I'm not going to explain all the steps, but I think it's very easy. You will be able to install it. Okay. Now we will go one by one scenario and see how I have written. So login. So first I will go login. In login, I have mentioned and background. Background is a common step which is required for all the test case. For example, in login screen, if you are going to write any test case, the login page or home page you have to go and then do the login. So that's why I put it in background. So remember that background is something which you are going to repeat for each scenario. That is a prerequisite or pre-step which you are going to perform and common all the scenarios which is located in a particular feature file. So for example, here there are two scenarios: verify user is able to log in successfully, and verify the the logged out user is when he is logging, you are able to see the error message. Verify the logged out user getting error while login. Okay, so let's say consider these are the two. So for these two, you have to go on the home page and then try to insert either logged in user and password, either standard user password. Okay. So from where this I got it, if you go into the website, let me go to that particular website which we are having here. Okay. So you will be able to see this user information is there, so you can use it. This is for testing purpose, so that's why it's there. Okay. Now, so this is the home page. So to perform any test case here, you have to navigate to home page. That's why we have mentioned that as a prerequisite or background that given I am at source demo website homepage. So what we have done, know that what is the step definition is there. If it's not there, then you have to click define step. So when you click on define step, if that step is not there, it will create it. For example, uh, let me show you like, and let's say consider any step either. So this step is not there. Okay. So now what will have, okay, let's say consider. So when you create it, define a step, then what will happen? It will generate the step definition. Now you have to copy this and paste into the corresponding step definition file. So I can copy it here and go to the, this is the login. So I can go in the login step definition. I can paste it here. That's how you generate it. Okay. You can refer my previous video if you are having any doubt. So I'm not going to add this because it's not required as of now here. So I will save it now. So when I click go to step definition, then you can see I have driver navigate go to URL like this. So that's why this is the URL which is required to navigate for each test case. That's why we have mentioned HTTPS that particular URL. So that's why we have mentioned as a prerequisite for test. Okay. So now here how this test case we have written. So we have written when I enter username as a standard user. So now when I click on that, when I enter username and go to step definition, you can go to step definition. You can see that here by ID. This is the ID. Okay. So now in the case when you are not having ID, then you have to supply for XPath. For example, this login button, we need to identify the XPath. So let's say consider how to identify XPath of login page. So if you select here, select the selector here, element selector, if you click it here, you will be able to see input ID equal to login button, or you can copy this XPath, you can paste it into your step definition where you are trying to find that element, you will be able to get it. So that's how we need to generate it. Wherever ID is there, directly use ID, because let's say consider here, if this text box or any element which contains ID, directly use ID. So ID, if you see the HTML content of this, if you see ID is username. So I'm using ID as a username. But if there is no ID, then you can use XPath and you can identify that element and fire the action, or you can perform the any verification on that element. So now I will again move to the login feature file. So I hope background is very clear. So similar way I have added those steps, and then I have created a step definition file, and each step definition file, if you go here, what I have done it, I have set, so whatever username I have defined on the feature file, I just that username and put send key. Send key means if you want to assigning some value to the text box, you can put it send key. So similar way, I have added uh, for two steps. One is for username, one is for password, and one is for login. And when you click on login, you can go to definition. You can see that I have added click driver that find element XPath and then click, because login text by text I'm identifying. So login text is coming from where? It's coming from feature file. This whatever login is there, and then we are adding the assert. So if you assert means verification. What you want to verify? We want to verify that user is navigated to the inventory page. Okay. Now, similar way, we will go on this. Here we are using same because these steps are common. These are calls as a dynamic value. So both will redirect or navigate to same step definition. The runtime value is getting changed, which is passed from the feature file. So we have created two step, and then we are clicking on login button. So if you see, these three steps are common. Okay, so it's a very reusable. You need not to write. If same step is required for multiple test cases, you can use it. You can write same statement. You can use it. Then you should see the message when you are entering a logged out account, and then here we are saying that the message error message is display. Here you can verify your error message text as well. I am not doing that, but you can do that. Okay, now let's run this all test cases. So let me go on Text Explorer, and when you are running first time, you have to make sure that your build is successful. So once the build is successful, it will take some time. So if you see here all the test cases, I'm going to run all, and then we will explain all the test cases. So I'm going to run all the test cases by clicking this. You will be able to see the test case execution on Chrome browser. So I have clicked on the uh, running the test case, that play icon of the test, and then now what will happen, it will. So it's running the test cases now. You can see in the browser is open, and it's running that negative scenario as of now, that when a logged out user logged in. This is about the logout scenario which is running. You can see this here, and then this. So you can see all the test case execution is completed. Okay. Now I'm going to explain more about this other test cases. So we have other test cases about the card. So I'm going on card. Similar way, for the card, the scenario we are covering that the background should be user should be able to log in on a system. So that's why if you see this is the background step here. So I'm logged in into the website. So if you go on this background step and go to step definition, you can see I'm doing multiple operation here. What I'm doing it here, I'm navigating to the home page and then I'm assigning the user ID, password, and then I am trying to click on the login button. So all this, what I'm doing, I'm performing into one step. You can club it because it's a background step. The major objective of this particular feature file to check the card, add to card, checkout kind of functionality. So the background step, the login, which is prerequisite for this test case, we cover in the background step. Similar way, now add items to the cart, which we are checking it. What we have done it, we have created when I add this particular product. So from where we got the product. So if you go here and let me log in for this. So I'm logging on this user and let me copy paste this password. So I copy and paste the password here and log in. So if you see, this is the product name which we are trying to add it. So what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to add this product name. So that's why I mentioned this is the first product name, similar with the second product name. So how we are doing it? We are going to step definition and then we are passing that product name, and based on that product name, we are trying to select the add to cart button by searching the XPath. As I mentioned, we are using Selector Hub for finding the XPath. So I find the XPath. I just pass the dynamic value to identify that particular add to cart, which is located here. So here, add to cart is available everywhere, right? So I need to select add to cart a specific product. So that's why we are passing product name to identify that product and then clicking on the add to cart to that particular product here. So that's what I'm doing it there again. And then I'm verifying that there should be two items into the shopping cart for this. So how I'm verifying? I'm clicking on this side, this uh, this shopping cart, and then I'm counting that how many items are there in this, and that's what I'm trying to do that. Okay, so this test case I'm doing that when I'm adding a products and adding to cart, it should show me that card item. Next one is similar way, I have try to check that checkout functionality. So this add to cart, I have, if you see here, add to cart is a common. I just click on the add to cart, a particular item here. Okay, cart item, sorry. I have click on the cart item. First, I have added the product. So product, I have added it. For me, this scenario, I just hard coded only one product, that is first lab backpack. I added to my cart, and then I'm verifying going to the cart. So how to go to the cart? If you go to definition and then I'm clicking the shopping cart link. So if you go here and if you try to find out the export for this, so you will be able to see I'm getting that span classical to this shopping cart, and same thing I have used it there. Okay. So I have used it that shopping cart link here and then I clicked on that. Now what I'm going to do here, I'm clicking on checkout button to find the checkout. Again, I use XPath and click event, and then I, enter the personal information. What is this personal information here in this page? If you click on uh, checkout, it will ask you personal first name, last name, and zip code. So similar way, I use this tool, Selector Hub, to identify the text path. And then if you go to this step definition file, we will be able to see I'm assigning this. Okay. So I assign these all values, whatever I want to do that. And then my test case is using that information, and then it will click continue and then finish. Then on the finish page, confirmation message should display. So all what I'm doing it, I'm just using that XPath generator and then using XPath, and then I'm firing the event. Either it's a set keys, either it's a click, something like that. So that's what I have done it into card. Let's quickly move into the product. Okay, product scenario is here. So what I'm doing it here, I'm just trying to sort it. what is the starting is that if you see here, and if I go to cancel here, let's say go to cancel and continue shopping. So if you see here, there is a sorting. So I can put a sorting high to low. So that's how it's happening. All the product will be sort by the low price to high price. So one test case, just for demo purpose, I just selected that option, and then I'm verifying that the first element should have the lowest amount based on my data of the product. So that's what I'm doing here. If I click go to step definition, you will be able to see here two event I am firing it. Why two event? Because once you click this, then you have to click this, right? So first you have to click the filter icon, and then you have to select on the criteria filter. That's why I'm firing two events here. And then I'm verifying that it's true, right? So that's what I'm doing. Then products should display into the ascending order. So I'm just trying to see that the first product which is having minimum cost is Swas Lab 1C, which is the lowest cost product. So I'm verifying that this product should come on top. So that is one means first position. So I'm able to verify this. This is the product which is coming. Manual testing. Here we are able to see that. Similar way, I will go to the logout screen. In logout screen, we are having I am logged into the website as standard user. Again, if you go to step definition file, you will be able to see I have all because logout the all the login functionality I'm doing in one step. So I have done that, and then click on the menu. And then why I'm clicking on the menu? Because I need to click on this menu for logout, and then I'm clicking this logout button. So if you go in this feature file, you can see clicking on the menu, clicking on the logout, and do that. So if you go to the next, click on menu. So if you click here, you can see that I am getting the ID of that menu item. I'm clicking that. Next, I'm clicking on the logout. So if I go to that step definition, what I'm saying, I'm able to click on this logout button. Once I'm able to click that, I'm able to redirect to the login page. That's what I'm verifying. So overall, this is how we are able to write the feature file and step definition. Now, there are a few things which I have added here. Hooks. What is hooks? I have explained it in my previous videos. I have added the link in my description box. In this video description box, you can refer it. Here, hooks are nothing but if you want to inject a custom code in a SpecFlow defined hooks. So let's say consider if you want to inject some code before every scenario runs. So what I have done it, I have created a hook. I have used a method, and on top of that, I have decorated that method as a before scenario. So since I am not doing anything, this is committed code. So this I'm not doing anything. But if you want to do read some test data, reading from CSV file, you can use it before and after scenario, clean up something. Now what I'm doing it here before test run. Before test runs, whenever you start execution, if there are multiple test run, that's I consider a test run when you are running for my scenario is a 5 to 6 test cases are there. So when tests start, I am initiating the driver. When test run completed, I am disposing that. I'm clicking on quick. Next instance that quick. So it will dispose that. So this is one hook is required if you want to write a common code or perform any operation during the test case execution, either before scenario, after scenario, before test run, after test run, before step, after anything. But it should be located in one place. Now, how do I declare create a browser? So currently what I have shown you only for Chrome browser, but this common method is there, which I have created. This common method is part of the WebDriver factory class, which will take what is the browser type. It might be Chrome, it might be Firefox, it might be any other browser. And then if you pass it, what does it do? Based on that, it will create a corresponding driver object. Okay, so for me, I'm passing Chrome, and then it's creating a Chrome driver. Okay, so by default, I have configured Chrome. Okay, so whenever you are trying to get, if you go into the hooks, whenever you are trying to get the what I'm doing it inside this, go to definition, and if you go to that definition, you will be able to see if instance is not created. I am calling that with the Chrome. So that's why I am running this complete all the test cases on the Chrome browser. So this is common. What I'm going to do, I'm going to checking this all code. You can refer this code on GitHub and comment me if you are facing any issue or if you have any suggestion. Thank you so much for watching my video, and hope it help you to understand how you can integrate this. In the next video, I'm going to explain same test cases, how you can use the page object model to design this test case. Till that, keep learning. Thank you so much for watching my video. Thank you.